Wondershare Filmora. My name is Sylvia, and today we'll be talking about how you can import media into your project, organize it, and then export your final work. So let's go. So let's first open up Wondershare Filmora. And as you can see, we find right away front and center a big old import button. Now, this import button is under project media, and under it you'll see folder. So this is actually a default folder that you can rename in order to organize your footage, especially if you're working on larger projects. It can be much easier to have it organized. If you want to add additional folders, you can just right click again, select add a new folder, and we can have, I don't know, intro. We can have another one that's for outro. And that way you can keep stuff separated. You can also drag and drop these. So maybe we have the intro first, then the bulk of the video, and then the outro parts. This way you can toggle between different folders and you can keep your stuff neatly stored. Now, if we go into import, we can obviously click right here, or you can come right here to the top, click the down arrow, and you can import media files. So I can import, I don't know, this picture. I can also import several things. So for example, I want to have this intro and this outro, and all I did was I clicked the command key or control if you're on Windows to select both, and that way I can import both of those at the same time. You can come right here to import and import a media folder. So if you have a folder already in your computer where you've organized your files beforehand, you can import it. So let's say this mosaic folder, I can import it and it will import everything that's under that folder. Let's say we actually want these two to go in the main folder to be used in the bulk of the video. I can just simply, I have them both selected. So you can just drag to select them both, and I can drag them onto the main folder. So now we have the intro stuff, the main, and the outro. Still under import, you've seen there's a lot of features here. You can import stuff directly from a camera or a phone. If you shop with an external device, you can import directly from there. I grabbed my husband's phone so I can show you this. So yeah, we have access to the footage. You can import this photo. We also can import stuff with the instant cutter tool. Now that's a different feature of Filmora. We may do another video on that. It will ask you to drag a file in, and we can drag things around. For example, if I want to cut this little bit, essentially if you cut the footage before you import it, you're able to just import the right bit that you want, so you're not fiddling around trying to find that in the timeline. We can also import with auto beat sync. Again, that could be a whole entire other video. Let us know if you'd like to see that. We can also import from other apps. So we have Google Drive. If you use Google Drive to store your footage, you can import from there. You can import from OneDrive or Dropbox, whichever one you prefer. Now, another thing you can do is you can search media. So search for intro and it will find a file that has intro in the name. Or another thing which is super fun, you can use the smart search. So right here, come onto the drop down, select smart, and this way you can search for file names just like the default, but you can also search for visuals or dialogue within the actual footage, and that can save you obviously a lot of time if you know you want that clip where someone said a specific thing. Another way you can do it is using the filters. So you can filter to just see the video file, audio files, you can just see the images. And last but not least, you can come right here to the three dots in the corner and you can select to view. You can view a list instead of viewing the thumbnails if that helps you. You can select to view large thumbnails, medium, or even small thumbnails if you have a lot of footage. That can be easier to find. You can also sort things by name, duration, type, date created, etc. Or you can group things by those same criteria. So let's say I want to sort by duration and I want to have it be ascending. So the shortest video comes first, or the shortest audio, whatever it is. So you can see we have the images at the beginning. Then we have the videos from shortest to longest. Same for the audio file. Or you can group by type, and that way we have the audio ones, and you can open and close this. We have the photos and the videos all separated. Now that's project media. Next up, we have global media. Now there are some slight differences, and you can see right away we have some stuff right here, which we didn't import right now. And that's the main difference, because global media is essentially a shared library of assets that can be accessed across multiple projects, while project media is specific to this project. Understanding the differences between these two can help your workflow, especially if you do multiple videos in a given time. And the import process is basically the same as the project media, but anything you import into global media can be used across different projects. And this is especially great when you're working with teams, because it actually allows multiple users to access the same media. Next up, we have cloud media, and under cloud media, we have my cloud media. And this is especially great if you're collaborating with other people or if you're working across different devices. So for example, I have a MacBook, but sometimes I like to work with my Windows desktop. So that way I would have access to this media wherever I am. So again, we can upload a file or a folder or both, or we can create a folder inside this. So let's see, stuff for my next video. That way you can keep your stuff organized, even if it's to be worked on in the future. And again, we have the three dots right here in the corner, which we can click to select the different views like we've seen before, or to sort a file by name, size, or updated time. Still under cloud media, we have downloads, and you can see right now it's empty, but we can come right here to my cloud media, and for example, I want to download this, and you can see it popped up with a green icon under downloads, which means we've downloaded something new. Here we also have the search feature, so if we search for pic, obviously it will pop up with that one because that's the only one we have. We can also filter like we've done before and just see videos, audios, images, or subtitles. And we can also, again, use the view feature. We can use the sorting or the grouping. Now, moving on to influence kit. Now, this is again something we can do a future video on, so let us know in the comments if you'd like to see that. But essentially, we can create one of these two things, or both. We can create an eye-catching 3-second intro that you can use in multiple videos on your channel, and you can use maybe a transition with your logo. You can create that one as well. So for that, you just click on start creating, and then you'll see you have different templates to work from, and same for right here. But again, that's a story for a different time, and you'll also be able to see your files right here once you have them. Next up, we have adjustment layer. This is another thing we can do a full video on, but just to briefly explain, the adjustment layer lets you apply effects to multiple clips within your timeline. And this will save you time and effort instead of just having to apply the same thing to every single clip individually. You can place different effects in your adjustment layer just to have more flexibility in your editing, and you can easily hide or discard your adjustment layer to revert to the original edits without having to undo everything individually later. So you can have a preset one, or you can create custom ones Now, next up, we have compound clip. Same thing applies here. We can create a full video on that later. But a compound clip inside Filmora can essentially merge multiple clips inside your timeline onto a single object. That way, it's even easier to manage. That's pretty much it for the import. Now, let's move on to export. And let's just export normally. The first thing you can do right here is to create a thumbnail. You can select a thumbnail from the video. Obviously, this is a still image, so it will be the same. You can add your own picture that you've created outside of Filmora. And you can select whether or not you wanted to add the thumbnail to the beginning of the video. Now, right here on the right-hand side, we can obviously choose the name. So let's just say test. We can select what folder we wanted to export it to. We can select a preset so we can have it match the project settings or create a custom one. And we can see the settings right here on this button. We can choose the format, so whether we want MP4, Apple ProRes. Sometimes maybe if you're doing work for a client or a brand, they may have specific requirements they want you to have for the video. So that way you can tweak it to fit your needs. We can also choose the quality, lower quality, but occupy less space on your computer. Same thing for higher, but the reverse. It will be better quality, but occupy more space. But we have the recommended, which is always the best bet if you don't know what to choose. We can select the resolution. So again, this is the default, is what matches the project, but you can select whatever one you need. Same for the frame rate. This project is at 25 FPS, but if we want to export it in 30, that's possible as well. We also have advanced compression, reduces the video size without necessarily compromising quality. We can also have it back up to the cloud, which will upload your video to the Filmora cloud and will help you if you need to share the video in order to get feedback from a client or a brand you're working with. Maybe you want to get feedback before you post something. You can also select whether or not you want to have an auto highlight. Essentially, this will create an additional highlight video within the same folder that you're exporting it to. And you can select whether you want a 15-second TikTok, a 60-second YouTube Shorts, or something custom. And you can also select whether or not you want to enable GPU accelerated video encoding, which if you toggle this off, that's when you'll be able to do advanced compression. So it totally depends on your needs for the project at hand. And you can select whether you want to have advanced compression by quality. So if you want to compress by 10%, 70%, 50%, or if you want to have it made for a YouTube upload, if that's your end goal. And this essentially compresses the file within the bitrate range that YouTube recommends. By the way, you can also select this box right here if you want to keep these settings and save them for your next project. Now, we can also see right here at the top, if you toggle on to device, a lot of things are similar, but let me point out some of the differences. Essentially, if you export to device, the focus will be on device-specific presets. And again, you can choose the name of the file. We can select where we want it to go, the preset we want to use, what device we want it to be for. So iPhone, iPad, Apple TV 4K, iPod, Samsung Galaxy, smartphone in general, Android, generic, Google Pixel, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PSP, or Smart TV. And the rest, it's pretty much the same. We also have YouTube. So if you want to have your things go directly onto YouTube, this can be helpful. All right. So now we have here the YouTube logo. So we see there's no mistake. We're uploading to YouTube. We can, again, select the thumbnail. We can even select from the templates they have. I can use this vlog template and I can maybe, move things around. So my cat's in the center. You can remove the background. You can add text. You can add different images to the thing. So I can add myself right here. And then you can title the video. So traveling with my cat. That could be fun. You can have the description. So today I went traveling with my cat, Timo. You can select the category for the video. So I would do travel and events, of course. We can have the tags. We can keep Wondershare Filmora if you'd like. Travel, cats. You can select the privacy if we want it public, unlisted, or private. If you don't know, unlisted, only people with the link can see. Public, everyone can see, and private, only you can see. We'll see the size of the file, the duration of the video. Now, same thing for YouTube, we can have for TikTok. This is pretty cool because it can save you time. Instead of exporting and then uploading to the platform, you can just do it all at once. My cute cat. That will be the title. And we can select the quality, which is good as it is. But again, you can tweak the settings as you please. We can have enable GPU accelerated video encoding. That's a mouthful. And then it warns us that the video file must be less or equal to 4 gigabytes. And the duration of the video file must be at least 3 seconds and shorter or equal to 10 minutes. Same thing again for Vimeo, similar to what we've seen before. Let's just leave my video. Let's leave the description as it is. Again, you can tweak the quality, resolution, frame rate, encoder. You can also select who can see it, anyone, only me and people I follow. Now, last but not least, we have a DVD. So the first thing it asks us is to label our DVD. For the ratio, you can either choose to go with the updated 16:9, which is the size you're watching this video on right now, or you can go with the old school 4:3, which is the ratio of those old TVs that were almost squared. We can also choose from the TV standard whether we want NTSC or PAL. NTSC being more commonly used in North America and supporting 30 FPS, and PAL being more used in Europe, Australia, and maybe some parts of Asia, and it supports 25 FPS. So let me select PAL because I'm in Europe. And then we have bitrate mode. We can either have a constant bitrate or a variable one. The difference being the constant, maintaining it, the same throughout the video, leads to higher quality file, but also a larger one. And the VBR, or the variable bitrate, adjusts the bitrate based on the complexity of the video, allowing it to potentially reduce the video size while still maintaining its quality. Now, again, we have quality high, medium, and low. Let's leave it at medium. And again, this will influence size and video quality. Now, next up, we have disk type. We can choose D5 or D9. Now, if it's a shorter project, D5 should be enough, making it easier and usually cheaper as well. But if it's a longer, higher quality project that you're working on, it may benefit from D9 because it has a larger storage capability. Then we have folder path, which is where you'll specify where you want your files to go to on your computer. This will be especially important if you want to burn multiple copies of this DVD or use it again in the future. Now, the output type, I don't have anything here, but if your computer has DVD output devices, there should be options here. But then we have the options to burn directly into the DVD, if you again have access to the DVD drive, or to create an image file, which will essentially allow Filmora to create a single file in your computer that contains the entire DVD structure, including the video, the audio, and the menu elements. So that way you have everything in one place. And then you can just click export and you'll have your project done and good to go. That being said, thank you so much for watching. And in the meantime, happy editing.